Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. Oh Lord.
Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down.
You've been
Building your kingdom
all over.
all over this land.
That's all right, Satan.
Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down.
Yeah, the mothers are gonna pray your kingdom down. Any mothers out there praying? I heard the mothers.
Mothers are gonna pray your kingdom down.
Yeah, you've been
Building your kingdom
all over.
all over
And see,
this land.
that's all right, 'cause Satan,
We're gonna tear your kingdom down.
One more thing I heard. See, I heard the preachers are gonna preach your kingdom down. Oh Lord, the preachers.
Preachers are gonna preach your kingdom down.
Yeah, you've been
Building your kingdom all over this land.
That's all right.
Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down.
See, Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down. This is your last one, Satan. Satan!
Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down.
Yeah, you've been
Building your kingdom
all over.
all over this land.
That's all right.
Satan,
Satan,
we're gonna tear
tear
your
your
kingdom
We're
down.
gonna tear it down, yeah. Hey, yeah.
Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down.
Tear it down.
Satan, we're gonna
Tear
your kingdom down.
Hey, we're not here to play with you. Not here to play with you.
Satan, we're gonna tear your kingdom down.
Yeah.
All right. So I told you that this was going to happen. I told you. That's why I called them STDs. And I said what I said about her. Like, this is what it is. There's only so much it is you can take before people end up turning on you. And that's what you're seeing. No one wants this around. I said when she first got into this league and all of this nasty stuff followed her, these horrible people. And I said that this was going to happen. I said, I'm telling you what's going to happen. No one is going to want Caitlin Clark because of her fans. Then here comes all of this nasty attitude stuff and her mistreating coaches. And no one wants that around. No one wants that. But I said, no one wants her fans. They're saying, go to Portland. No, go to New York. No, go to Toronto. Man, listen, I wouldn't mind seeing her with this team or that team. And all of these fans are rejecting her. And they're saying, no, we don't want her. Keep her in Indiana. We don't want her. These people don't realize that they're the problem. They don't want you because with Caitlin comes you. You horrible, terrible people. They don't want you around. Okay. And so the league has to put up with her. Let's just use her for whatever we can get out of her. We have to put up with it right now, but we're going to position ourselves to where we don't need her anymore. Okay. And it's coming to that point right now where the ratings, if you look at the ratings are much better than they ever were before Caitlin Clark got here. Now, the ratings were really good before she got here in terms of year-over-year growth, significant growth. Now it's at a point where we can remove Caitlin and we can live with these ratings. We can live with the ratings without Caitlin, because when she got injured, the ratings were still good. They weren't great, but they were really good, right? Last season. And so that's how the league is looking at it. We're getting more stars. We're global now. We're running this shadow global league, which is wrong. I don't agree with it because it's discriminating. It's national origin discrimination. So I don't agree with what they're doing, but the league is positioning itself to make sure that there are safeguards in place where we don't have to put up with this. We don't have to deal with this if we don't want to, but let's just keep it going for maybe a couple more years. I don't know if the league can take her for 2 more years. I don't know if that's possible if she doesn't make changes, okay, and starts becoming pliable, starts becoming more respectful, more humble. If that doesn't happen, and with her is her fans, right? These STDs, these terrible people. And I don't know if the league can take 2 more years of that. I just don't know. This season is going to be hell if she doesn't make changes. It's going to be hell. Now, we just saw the little rumors that Skip Bayless is looking like an idiot, just dumb, looking stupid right now. And now he's gotten shut down by Chloe Peterson and official Indiana Fever beat writers saying that that's not true about Stephanie White being fired. But this is going to be hell this season if something doesn't change. Okay. Now, she tried to, in a roundabout way, throw Stephanie White under the bus at the post presser by saying fouls wasn't her issue. Okay. And how she did her face in a little sneaky roundabout way, how she did her face, and trying to insinuate that Stephanie is the problem. She's the problem. Okay, she's the reason why Caitlin was getting annihilated on defense. She's the reason why Caitlin missed all of her shots, most of them. And so that's what she was implying. And that's just her way and her message to her fans: attack Stephanie, apply pressure to Stephanie, so that the Fever could get Stephanie White out of here somehow, some way. And so I guess Caitlin is fine with having 3 coaches in 3 years? So if Stephanie gets fired, obviously there will be an interim. That's still a new coach. And then they will hire a new coach next season. And so Caitlin Clark would have had really 4 coaches in 4 years, because the interim might not make it to next season. So that's crazy. 4 years, 4 different coaches. So that's a you problem. That's a Caitlin problem. Okay, now you could say all of these same people wanted Christy Sods fired. And I said, you got to give Christy credit. I said, Christy turned things around. You got to give Christy credit. Christy, I made several videos saying Christy should sue the Indiana Fever. That she should sue them for wrongful termination. Okay, there's precedent for that. And because she improved year over year, she deserved to finish out her contract. She took the team, when she got the job, the team only had won 5 games. She got them 13. They could have made the playoffs that year if Nalissa Smith didn't get injured and Lexi Hall didn't get injured. And they were dead last in the league and making wide open threes. Okay. And they lost the majority of their games by single digits, some games 6 points or less. And had they were making some of those wide open threes, the Fever would have made the playoffs in Chrissy Sod's first year. So she took a team that only won 5 games to 13 wins, and they really were supposed to make the playoffs. And then the next season, she gets 20 wins and they make the playoffs, right? So she deserved to finish out her contract. She improved year over year, right? So that's one coach gone. Why did she leave? Because they wanted to go Hollywood, right? And I called this out, the first one to ever do this. I called this out. I said they wanted to go Hollywood. So they got Stephanie to come over there and they wanted to go Hollywood. That's what it was. They wanted even more legitimacy. They wanted to look super legit. We got the number one player in the world, the most popular player in the world. Okay, now let's get her a real coach. And so that's what they did. They wanted to go Hollywood. And here, insert Stephanie White. And she had a great season last season. It was her greatest season ever as a head coach, right? And you could say 2015, she went to the finals. I agree. That was an amazing thing. Her first year as a head coach, she takes the team to the finals. But people are a little bit skeptical, incredulous about it, only because you still had Tamika Catchings in that loaded roster. It wasn't a loaded roster, but it was a freaking roster that could clearly make the finals. And so that's what that was. And so you start looking at it like that. Well, but you still got to give her respect because they made the finals. I don't care that Tamika Catchings was on the team. They still made the finals. And so you have to give her credit for that. But there's an asterisk next to it. Okay, people, do I really credit her for that? You have to. But because it was a nice team, it's like, I don't know about that one. Okay, that's fair. Whatever, it's fair. I think it's impressive, but it's fair. It's fair for you to just sort of doubt it a little bit. But Connecticut, you can say that's also fair. Loaded roster, great success. That's questionable in your eyes. You can place an asterisk next to it. That's fair. I agree. 2015 is fair. That's fair game. If you want to debate it, I agree. Connecticut, loaded roster, future Hall of Famers on a roster. I agree with you. But what you can't debate, what you can't question is 2025. That's what you can't question. That was her most impressive season. Her most impressive ever was 2025. It doesn't get any better than 2025 unless somehow with this crazy roster, she makes it to the finals. But 2025 proved that Stephanie White is a great coach with what she did with so little last year. That proved it 1,000% she's a great coach. Okay, so that leaves no question. If you're questioning, you're just hating, period. And that's all that is. You say, well, why are you bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because if something doesn't change this season and let's say Stephanie gets fired, that means 4 years she's been in this league, Caitlin, she would have had 4 coaches. So that says more about Caitlin than it says about anything else. Caitlin was okay with Christy leaving. Now, I know she liked the tweet from Christy where Christy said, leave it better than you found it. And you saw Caitlin Clark like that tweet. Okay, so we saw that. But listen, Caitlin was okay. She was happy to get Stephanie. She felt Stephanie was going to take the fever and herself to the next level and that she's a much better head coach. And that's how Caitlin saw it. And she felt that everything would be great. This is a more elite coach. They're going to go to higher levels. And so if Stephanie gets fired, then here comes Austin Kelly. He will be the interim. So you move up Austin Kelly. And if he doesn't do a good job, then they don't keep him. And they try to find a bigger, sexier name. Or they try to get someone from the NBA or someone from college. So that means that Caitlin would have had 4 coaches because you still have to count their interim. So she would have had 4 coaches in 4 seasons. That is insane. That's crazy. Okay, so technically you could start labeling Caitlin Clark the coach killer. You could start calling her a coach killer. Okay, so that reflects poorly on Caitlin Clark. It makes her look terrible. It makes her look toxic. She's a coach killer. She's the Black Widow of coaches. She'll kill coaches. And so that doesn't help her. It doesn't help her at all. It just gives credence and validation to what everyone believes is that she's toxic, that she's a cancer, that she's a horrible human being, and that her fans are horrible people. And no one wants them around. No one wants these people around. I said in 2024, I said, we just don't want you people, right? But then now it's like no one wants Caitlyn because everyone is starting to see how toxic she is. She's a terrible human being right now. And like I said, there's solutions for her. There's ways to fix her, but Caitlyn has to do that work herself. I can highlight the solutions. Caitlyn has to put in that work herself. She has to become a positive person. She has to become a positive person, man. And she's not. Now, everyone has a foundation. Asia Wilson has a foundation. Damn near every star in this league, they have foundations. Even those who aren't stars, they have foundations. They're holding clinics and youth camps and all of this stuff, and they're giving away book bags and bikes and toys and food. All of these players do this type of stuff in this league. There's so many of them. So she's not the first one to build a basketball court, right? And so just because you're handing out turkeys and winter coats and bicycles and putting up some basketball courts, that doesn't make you a good person. That's a good deed, but that doesn't mean that the odor, the stench from your character has gone away, right? And so that's John Gotti used to give out Christmas gifts. Like, what are we talking about here? Pablo Escobar housed the poor and put them up in nice little apartments and paid their rent. That was Pablo Escobar, right? What are we talking about here? Okay, so you can be a terrible, horrible person and still do good things. You could still be morally bankrupt. You could still have your character is rotted, and you could still do some good things. Whitey Bulger, a brutal gangster, if you will, from Boston, he'd kill you if you ever harmed a puppy or a dog. This dude did so much for dogs. He was an advocate. This dude did everything for pets, but he was a brutal killer. Mafia dude, Whitey Bulger, brutal killer, but he loved animals. He loved dogs. He'll do anything for dogs, right? And so, like, that's all I'm saying. So when I say Caitlyn has terrible character, and this is a pattern of behavior, idiosyncrasies, behavioral inference, this is what we're witnessing with her. And if she doesn't make that change, no one is going to want her on their team. I told you, all money isn't good money. All success isn't good success, right? All clout isn't good clout. And everyone is starting to see that. It's like, no, I don't want to accept this money from you because I don't know where you got it from, right? And so it's one of those type of situations where it's like, okay, I need this money, but you are a dodgy person. You are completely sus. You are a criminal. You are corrupt. I don't know where the hell you got this money from. I can use it, but I don't want to take it. I don't know where you got this money from. All money isn't good money, right? Or if you're around this person can make you successful, but this is a corrupt person, okay? This is a corrupt human being. And so I don't want to be around you. I know that if I'm around you, that I can elevate my social media followers and I could become more popular. But you are so corrupt. You are so corrupt that honestly, it'll sully things. It'll damage me. I don't want any of that type of limelight next to you because you're so terrible. And so all success isn't good success. All money isn't good money. All clout isn't good clout. And that's Caitlyn Clark. It's just like the devil told Jesus Christ. He said, if you will bow down and worship me, he said, I'll give you all of this. I'll give you this. I'll give you that. And Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. It says, do not tempt the Lord your God. Like, get behind me. What the hell are you talking about? And so, like, it's not all good. All success isn't good success. And that's what we're experiencing with Caitlyn Clark. That's what everyone is finally seeing. I highlighted this in 2024. It was rough for me to do that because I was supporting her when no one else supported her. during her freshman season. I made the first ever video about Caitlin Clark. I was following Caitlin Clark when she only had 6,000 Twitter followers. I've been with this chick from the jump, from the green light. So it was difficult for me to criticize her in 2024, but I had to because she was terrible, a terrible human being. And she was also hurting us in some of those games, but she was just a terrible human being. And that's what you saw. And I had to call her out on it. And then that's when I started warning people, and she's got to make some type of change. Listen, it was bad last year. It's bad again this year. It looks even worse this season than it did last season. Pre-injury, then her sitting on the bench, making fun of people, not supporting her teammates in certain games, helping these rumors spread by not putting all of this stuff to bed. Like, she's a terrible person, y'all. And she has to make some changes. No one is going to want that. No one is going to want her around. Right? And you listen, this dude, you see in the cover photo, what I put up there, this is a real tweet from him. And you can run through the comments, and you could run through the quoted post, the quoted tweets, and everyone is in agreement with him. Like 99% of everyone is seemingly in agreement with this dude, with his tweet. And that's not the only tweet. Okay? That's not the only tweet. And I thought that this was funny because these are people who are saying, Caitlin Clark, leave, go. But they don't realize that no one wants her. That's why I went to this Twitter account to share this. They don't realize that they don't want her. Yeah, Caitlin, leave. Pull a Dewana Bonner and leave. No one wants you. They don't want you. And these franchises are doing well without you. Okay? They're doing well without you. All of these teams are essentially packing their arenas. Okay? They're essentially, there's not a need for a bunch of fans. Everyone is doing great. Atlanta is doing great. Toronto, for 3 straight games, sold out their little small arena. Chicago isn't looking too good. That's only because their fan base went on a campaign saying that they're not going to buy tickets because Chicago traded Angel Reese. So they're dealing with that on top of Chicago losing. So, yeah, she can go to Chicago. She can go to Chicago. And maybe that's it. Go to Chicago. Chicago is really the only team that would need her, or maybe Connecticut, in terms of fans filling out seats, like those two teams. But no one else needs her. No one else needs Caitlin Clark, right? Hell, even the Indiana Fever are charging $12 for seats. So they're having a bunch of empty seats. And then people are getting bored with the same stuff she keeps doing, the same basketball moves. And so there's nothing dynamic about her anymore. Her passing ability isn't impressive anymore because she's not doing anything sparkly. Right? And it's she threaded that needle. Yeah, but the fans in attendance, they're not seeing that replay on television, on TV, like everyone else is at home. That amazing view. They're not watching that. They're not hearing Debbie Antonelli break down the pass. They're not. No, it's just that she threw that from distance. Oh, that was nice. But it wasn't like it was between the legs, behind the back. Her back completely turned like Maureen Johannes or something. It wasn't. It's none of this stuff. It's just some deep passes, or she's threading the needle. Okay. That's nothing new to basketball. Women in this league have been threading needles for decades. So, okay, we would like to see some 360 passes. We would like to see you pull a Sierra Dillard and do bowling ball passes. That with a perfect curve to it. We would like to see some no-look passes, between the leg passes, okay, blind passes where your back is completely turned. And that's what they want to see. All of this, she threaded the needle. Okay, they've been threading the needle for 30 years, right? So, and then we're the gimmicky logo threes. You're not making them. Okay, you got lucky and made one against Tiffany Hayes. You're not making these logo threes. And so it's like, okay, right? I'm over it. I'm over the gimmick, circus, garbage, stand-up comedy logo threes. It's a joke. The SNL logo threes, it's a joke. It's a joke. And it's really a joke because you're not making them. You're not making them. And then when you're not doing logos, you're just basic, right? You're not even vanilla. You're not even vanilla. At least vanilla ice cream got some flavor to it. It's just like, okay, so she's not doing a logo. So what is she doing? What is she doing that stands out? That's impressive. Now, what you can say is like, well, look at her points per game, 20 points, 8 assists. That's impressive. You scratch your head. It's like, well, how is she getting this? 20 points and 8 assists. It's like, okay, well, she's getting this game. She got 8 of those points from the free throw line. Okay, that makes sense. So she's getting a nice portion of those points from the free throw line. I think all of her points, well, 4 of her points against the Fire were from the free throw line, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's just like, it's not impressive. So if she's not doing logos, her mid-range package isn't impressive. She has no slashing package. She has no layup package. So what is this? What is this? That's why the ratings aren't impressive unless she's going to play like Dallas, or she's going to play the Aces because of Kennedy Carter, obviously, or if she's going to play Angel Reese. And I think the Valkyries are going to start doing good now for ratings. That seems like that could potentially be a rivalry or something like that. Maybe Portland again. But yeah, it's just like people are losing interest. And the only ones trying to keep it afloat and trying to make it seem as if Caitlyn is the 2023 Caitlyn or the 2024 Caitlyn are her STD fans. And no one wants. These people don't want you people around. They want you to go. They want you to go. They don't want you anywhere near their team. You're a disease. Because they're saying, go to Toronto, let her play for Sandy Brondello. And she'll get Sandy fired. Her fans will start attacking Sandy. Sandy is taking the ball out of her hands. I'm sick of Brittany Sykes. She looked off Caitlin Clark. I'm so sick of Marina Mabrey. She's trying to outdo Caitlin Clark with logo threes. I'm so sick of Marina. She's looking off Caitlin. Get my goat off of this team. Get this demon off of this team. I'm so sick of Marina. I'm sick of Sandy. Don't you realize who you have, Sandy? Don't you see who you have? You have the GOAT. Why are you allowing Brittany Sykes to dribble the ball so much? How is her usage rate higher than Caitlin Clark's and CeCe's? Like, this is what it will be. If she goes to Toronto, they're going to attack Brittany Sykes. They're going to attack Marina Mabrey. They're going to attack Julie Alleman. They're going to attack Sandy Brondello. They're going to attack Kiki Rice. Why is Kiki the primary ball handler? She's not better than CeCe. They're toxic. And then Caitlin will send these little messages to her fans, these little non-verbal messages to her fans, tacit messages, dog whistles to her supporters to attack her teammates and to attack the coach on YouTube, on social media, and they'll go right out and do it. And then Sandy gets fired, players get traded, and then a new coach comes in and the new coach gets fired. Like, this is what it is. This is what, I don't care where you send her to. They're going to complain that teammates are looking her off. Why isn't Caitlin dribbling the basketball 100% of the time? Okay, why did the coach run this play? I think the coach is sabotaging her. This is what it is. I don't care where she goes. They'll try to get Becky Hammond fired. If she went to the Aces, they'll try to get Becky fired. These are terrible people. And Caitlin allows it. She said that she watches YouTube and she's on social media. She sees what's going on social media. Okay, she doesn't interact unless she's in the comments on IG making fun of Sophie or Caitlin. Sophie or Lexi. But on Twitter, she doesn't interact with anyone. But she literally says she's on Twitter. She'll scroll through Twitter to see what's going on. Okay? She'll do it with IG as well. She just won't interact with anyone. She sees what's going on YouTube. These chicks are bored. They're not really independent. They're not independent. They're not true adults. They're getting paid all of this money. They have no bills. Everything is given to them. This is welfare. This is DEI. This is 100% welfare for Caitlyn and everyone. So they don't have any true responsibilities. They just don't. Where Caitlyn is living right now, it's paid for by the WNBA. Her utilities, her furniture, everything. They don't pay a dime except for their freaking phone bill, the freaking cell phone bill. That's it. And so this is why they come dressed to these games like it's the first day of school all of the time. And they're just playing dress up, and then they take the clothes off and they go back to this paid for luxury apartment with this paid for furniture and utilities. They get $100 a week for food, probably more this time. They get free rental cars. Everything is free. Everything is free, y'all. They're just responsible for the freaking T-Mobile Verizon bill. And like, this is what it is. And so I'm telling you right now, y'all, like, where is she going to go? She's going to get everyone fired. No one wants these fans around. These are terrible people. And so they're like, well, the Fever can go back to what they were before they got Caitlin Clark. Yeah, we were rising, 13 wins. We went from 4,000 to 6,000. That's year over year growth. Even our ratings picked up year over year. So we were picking up, getting back our original fans who were with us back in 2015, 2016, 2014, 2013, 2012, 2011, 2010, 2009, 2008. Like, we're getting back our real fans who were with us during our glory years when we were in the playoffs every single year. Okay? And so we're going to get them back and then some. So, like, let's get back to winning games, earning real fans, the fans that just care about the Fever and care about quality basketball, and players with good character. Players who respect their coaches. Players who don't have all of this toxicity off of the court with their fan base. Okay? And if that means we drop from 17,000 to 8,000, so be it. And then we pick up from 8,000 to 10,000 or 8,000 and we just chip, we get better and better every year, then let's do it that way. At least we know we're picking up real meat and potato fans. We're picking up real solid, true fans. Okay? And the toxicity is gone. And now it's all about basketball. We're focused on winning. It's just like last year. Caitlyn is gone. She's out of the way. Sophie is gone, and she's not out there purposefully trying to get clout, trying to go viral. And then we saw Odyssey and everyone, and it was a real team. It was a real meat and potatoes team, y'all. And what you watched with the Fever was pure basketball. You didn't see some gimmicky stand-up comedy SNL logo threes. Okay? You didn't see players trying to do too much passing a basketball so they can go viral. It was none of that. You didn't see a woman purposely trying to pick fights and start stuff so she can go viral. Her name is Sophie. It was none of that stuff. You watched just pure basketball. And it was so beautiful. It felt like a movie. And we almost made it to the finals. And yeah, like, get this chick out of here if she's not going to make changes. So it's up to you, Caitlyn. It's up to you. What are you going to do? Are you going to make a change? Are you going to become a more positive, respectful, peaceful person? Or are you going to still be toxic and still be arrogant and a megalomaniac? Like, what is it? Because if you're not going to change, then what's the point of it all? Okay? What's the point of it all? And then no one wants you. No one wants you. It's like, I can go anywhere and be accepted. No, these fans don't want you. They're booing you. The Valkyries last year, they didn't boo you. You played 2 games against the Valkyries before you got injured. The fans didn't boo you Over 18,000 fans did not boo Caitlin Clark in 2025. It's getting worse. Now the Valkyries are booing you, the fans. Valhalla, they don't like you. They don't like you. Fans in Portland was booing her. They don't like you. They're booing her in Golden State. They're booing her in Portland. Right? Like, that's what's going on. They don't like you. They're going to start booing her everywhere pretty much if she keeps it up. They don't like you. And they really don't like your fans. These are terrible people. Okay? And no one wants to be around a disease. No one wants to be around lame people. And then no one wants to support a loser. Right now, Caitlyn is a loser. And these are inflated stats. Okay? It's all inflated. Let me see something real quick. Yeah, I like this right here. You see this woman right here, Emily Angsler? This is the Fever's top 5 pick. The Indiana Fever, top 5 pick. She came in the same draft with Melissa Smith and Lexi Hall and Queen Egbo. This is the same draft. Destiny Henderson, all of that. Top 5 pick right here. And the Fever traded her, or got rid of her, waived her, so that they could tank to get Caitlin Clark. And now look at Emily Angsler. Idiots, right? So anyway, Fever literally drafted her top 5 and then waived her so that they could tank for Caitlin Clark, and lied and said it was because of a back injury. And Emily said, I don't even have an injured back. They lied and said she injured her back overseas. And Emily says, my back isn't injured. I never injured my back. She was like, I don't know what's going on. And so then they asked Landon about it, and Landon said, we just want players that fit our system. Wait a second, Landon, you said you drafted her because she's the type of player that you want to build around. You're looking for these dog players, these gritty players, these hard-nosed players. That's why you drafted her and Queen Egbo. You said they're going to set the tempo for what we want to do here. We're going to be a tough, hard-nosed, gritty team, defensive team. So you drafted her in the top 5. Now look at her. She won Defensive Player of the Year in Athletes Unlimited. She's on a trajectory, on a path to win Defensive Player of the Year this season. This was your top 5 pick. And then because you wanted to tank for Caitlyn and got called out on it, you lied and said she injured her back overseas. Emily Angsler said, I never got injured. I never injured my back. She said, I don't know what's going on. And they waived her so they could tank for Caitlin Clark. It's a terrible people, y'all. Terrible. And look, now they got a woman, no team wants. These fans don't want her. I'm not saying the organization wouldn't take her, but the fans don't want her. They don't want her around, right? Because of her attitude, her ego, her pride, her arrogance, her haughtiness, and in her disgusting sexually transmitted disease fans, like her freaking herpes fans. They don't want these STDs around. And like, that's the reality of it. So anyway, so Sophia's looking like an idiot because she tried to go viral again. She's looking stupid. So anyway, let me go here. Let me do Caitlin Clark stats so far this season. Like, I want to, because on the surface it looks a certain way. Yeah, but this is what I wanted to go to, percentages. Yeah, she'll go down as the greatest free throw shooter this season. That's the way it's looking, but yeah, 34%. So this is what she had her rookie year. She's reverting. Okay? She's reverting. No. She's not averaging 22 points. She's averaging 20. So I want to clear that up. Let me make sure I cleared it up. Let me see. Yeah. She's averaging 20 points this season. So let me clear that up. Yeah, she's reverting 34%. That's what she was her rookie year. Okay. Yeah, 34%. That's what she averaged her rookie season. That was her percentage her rookie season. And 19 points. So she's barely improving from her rookie year. And the assists, her rookie season, she was getting 9 assists. And so she's actually reverting in many ways. Let me go here. Let me see something. Let me check this out. No. Let's go here. Let's go to stats. So if you look at her rookie season, 19 points, 5 rebounds. So she's averaging less rebounds, slightly less assist numbers. The same steals she got her rookie year. The blocks marginally, slightly improving. Turnovers are down. Oh, wait a second. Oh, her shooting percent, her field goal percentage is terrible. Oh, yeah, Grok had that wrong. Whoa. So, yeah, right now she's 39%. 39% and 33% from deep. So this is worse than her rookie season. Only thing that's better is her free throw percentage. Even her fouls, her personal fouls, 3.7. So, wow, that's crazy. So 3.7, 33%, 39% from the field. It's almost 5 turnovers a game, 4.6. Look, she's getting you almost 5 turnovers a game. And her steals got worse from last season, identical to her rookie year. Her rebounding is slightly lower. Her assists, and then her rebound is lower. And she's essentially averaging points per game what she did in her rookie year. Now you could say, well, her rookie season, she was getting 35 minutes. That's true, and that's fair. But that would mean that if she played 35 minutes this season, that perhaps she'll be averaging more turnovers. Okay? And perhaps she'll be shooting more, meaning that this could actually get worse. That could also mean her defense will get obviously much worse, and she'll get more fouls. So, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. That's why I say, like, these numbers are inflated. And so people are like, yeah, but look at her defensive rating. I don't care about a defensive net rating, right? This chick is getting chopped to pieces. They're chopping this chick down. They're chopping this chick up all over the place on defense, when they're on offense. And I told you, didn't I tell y'all? If you ever want to beat the Indiana Fever, I said that when the season first started. If you ever want to beat the Indiana Fever, all you got to do is ISO Caitlin and Kelsey, and you can get whatever you want. You can do whatever you want with them. You can do that with Ty Harris. I said that. I said the only true defender that they have on the team is Lexi Hall, but Lexi Hall falls for snatchbacks. She'll fall for every snatchback on the face of the earth. Okay? And so that's Lexi. Lexi will fall for all snatchbacks. But Lexi is their best defender. And then Raven Johnson. So you got Lexi and Raven. Everyone else is trash. They're pure trash, including Leah Boston. Okay? And so, like, that's what it is. That's what you're dealing with. That's what you're dealing with. So these numbers are inflated. These are terrible numbers, but you look at the 19 and the 8 assists, and you're like, ooh, Caitlin is dominating. No, she's terrible, man. So if you go to game log, so this is when, like, you have to get away from the surface stats, right? And, like, you want to go to the game log. You start looking like, okay, she's giving you 19 points or 20 points per game. How is that possible when she's shooting so poorly? And so it's sort of like the Puerto Rico numbers. It's like, well, Caitlin shot 40% from deep in Puerto Rico. No, she had 2 good games in Puerto Rico in terms of scoring percentages and 3 terrible games. And those 2 games were so great, okay, that by the end of it all, it trumped the 3 worst games. And so the average was 40%. But really, she was terrible in 3 games. Terrible. All right. So if you look here, let's go back. We're not doing preseason. So yeah, she was stacking them up in terms of points. So what you want to do, look at those turnovers. 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 5. Brutal. Stephanie saved her. Stephanie saved her, dog. Because she could have ended up getting a lot more turnovers than 1 turnover. But if you start looking, she put up 20 points against Dallas, but she was 38%. Okay? And 22% from the 3-point line. Yeah, I mean, she put up 24 points against LA, but she was 14% from deep and had 6 turnovers. Yeah, I mean, look, she put up 32 points against Washington. You got to count overtime. But she was 35%. She missed 18 shots. She missed 10 threes. This chick put up 17 threes and 28 shots total. She missed 10 threes and 18 shots. So that's why I said this is inflation. Yeah, she put up 21 points against Seattle. This was her best game. So you give her credit outside of the 5 turnovers. Okay, and then that was another good game against Golden State. Yeah, you give her credit for the Golden State game. And then you give her credit for the Seattle game. But that's still 5, 6 turnovers. And then she got 5 fouls against Golden State. But in terms of shooting percentage, sure, let's give her credit for those 2 games. And in the second game against Golden State, 25%, 33%, with 5 turnovers. And in Portland, 14%, 0%, right? So when you look at the stats, right, you go to stats, it's like, ooh, 20 points, 8 assists, 20 points. Ooh, I told you, man, Caitlin is amazing. No one is better, right? That's like, this is what people are saying. But no, like, let's dig deeper. And then you start looking and it's just like, wow, this is bad. This is really bad. Okay. And you start looking at where did she get these points from also? Well, if you look at the Seattle game, 9 of those 21 points came from the free throw line, right? And those were some bogus calls. If you look at the second Golden State game, half of her points came from the free throw line. So you can look, you can say, well, she still got 16 points. 8 of those 16 came from the free throw line. And you can say some of those were bogus calls, right? So it's just like, you start breaking this down, it's like, damn, she really only had 2 good games. Seriously, against Seattle in the first game against Golden State. But when you look at Dallas, 38%, 22%, 5 turnovers, 4 fouls. What? And you start looking at LA, 6 turnovers, 14% from deep. Whoa. And you look at Washington, 35% from the field. You missed 18 shots. You put up 17 threes and you only made 7. That means you missed 10 threes. That's terrible. And you have 4 turnovers. And then you go to the second game against Golden State, 5 turnovers, 25%, 33%, and 8 of your 16 points came from the free throw line. And then a terrible game against Portland. So this is the same thing when you, okay, so watch this. Let me see. No. Yeah, so like you see 40%. Remember I told you 40%? So you start looking, you see 40% and 52%. It's like, oh wow, like that's amazing. Okay. Yeah, they gave her the MVP and she averaged 11 points and 6 assists. That's crazy, right? But whatever. So you start looking at that. Bro, what are we doing? Okay, here it is. Here it is. All right. No. What are you doing? What is this? Let's go here. Yeah, sure. All right, here we go. So she had 2 good games. So the reason why it's 40% is because against Senegal, she was 80% shooting threes, 4 or 5, 80%. And then against Italy, she shot 3 threes, made 2 for 66%. But against Puerto Rico, she was 20%, 1 of 5, 33% from the field. Against New Zealand, she was 2 of 7, 28%. And against Spain, she was 1 of 5, 20%, and 28% from the field. So these 2 games against Senegal and against Italy is what boosted those percentages. But she had 3 terrible games shooting against Puerto Rico, against New Zealand, and against Spain. So they gave her MVP because it was politics. There was politics involved, and that's why they gave her MVP. Okay, but like none of this was impressive. She had 1 game where she was double figures in assists against Senegal and Puerto Rico, 2 assists, and against Italy she had 5 turnovers. Right? So only a total of 4 total steals. Just 2 blocks the entire tournament, only 2 blocks, only 4 steals the entire tournament, right? So the entire tournament, she only got 8 rebounds. What are we talking about here? How was this MVP level? That's why I told y'all after it happened, I said that was politics because TNT, the games were on what? TNT and True TV. Yeah. Turner Sports, they paid a lot of money for just America's games. They paid a bunch of money for the rights to broadcast those games. And the only one who was bringing really all of the eyes was Caitlyn. They knew it. And so they did her a solid. That was politics. That was politics, y'all. It was all politics. Okay. And so, yeah, that's what it was, man. These are like, none of this is impressive. None of, like, what are you talking about? Like, none of this was, how was this impressive? Just 2 games. Her numbers stood out because of Senegal and because of Italy. And everything else is lame as hell. Listen, I keep telling y'all, this is a pattern. This is a pattern, and we've been seeing this from Caitlin Clark. This is literally a pattern, right? Like, this is what we've been witnessing from her, and it all started. It all started. It all started in the Big Ten tournament. That's where it started, in the Big Ten tournament. And it's been downhill ever since. It's been downhill ever since, y'all. It's been bad. So yeah, you go to the Big Ten tournament in 2024 and she was terrible. She had a couple games where she shot good and the rest of her games, she was terrible. And then she enters the NCAA tournament. She had a couple good games shooting, the rest of them terrible. Right? And like that's when it happened. It all started in 2024. And then it carried over into her rookie season. Her rookie season, what did she do? 34% and just 41% from the field. And then that carried over to last season where she was 27.9% from deep and 36% from the field. And then you go to Puerto Rico. I just showed you terrible numbers in Puerto Rico. That's inflated. That's 2 games that inflated her total percentages, right? So that's called inflation. So she was really terrible in Puerto Rico. And then I just showed you her numbers in a regular season so far. The surface stats, when you see 20, it's like, wow. You see 8 assists, wow. But then you go game by game, she was terrible. She had 2 good games. She only played 2 good games, right? So let's go back to ESPN stats and we can look at that one more time. Right? So let's go back to Caitlin. So like I said, right, you look at the stats, it's like, ooh, 20 points, 8 assists. But then you say, wait a second, 39% from deep, 33% from the field, essentially 5 turnovers, and you're averaging almost 4 fouls a game. That's not good. You can say, yeah, but that's 20 points, right? Well, wait a second. And then you go game log, you got what, 2, 4, 6, 7 games, okay? Out of 7 games, you start breaking down, she only played 2 good games. Man, you talking about she only played 2 good games. Look at all those points. No, listen. The Dallas gained 20 points, but she was 38% and 22% from deep with 5 turnovers and 4 fouls. What are you talking about? Okay. LA, man, she put up 24 against LA. Wait a second, 6 turnovers, 14% from deep. And 5 of those points came from the free throw line. What are you talking about? So we're talking about true scoring. What do you mean? What about Washington? You talking about that chick was 35% and missed 10 threes. So you look at 41%. No, this chick missed 10 threes, y'all. She missed 10 threes. What are you talking about? That's terrible. And then boom, she has a good game against Seattle and a good game against Golden State. And then the second game against Golden State, 25%, 33%. And then Portland, 0%, 14%. This chick only had 2 good games. That's called inflation. So you start looking at the 20 points, the 24 and the 32. It's like, man, what are you talking about? And then you start digging deeper. Look at all of those turnovers. Look at the piss poor percentages. What are you talking about? It's terrible. And then you start looking at true scoring. It's like, wait a second. That Seattle game, 9 of those points came from the free throw line. These are terrible numbers, man. But like I said, this just all goes back to college. So like you can go to the 2024 season, and what you want to do is that you want to go to the Big Ten tournament, right? So we start looking at the Big Ten tournament. You see at the top, we're in the Big Ten tournament, right? So against Holy Cross, she was 42% and 33% from deep, and she has 6 turnovers. Against West Virginia, she was 36% from the field and 35% from deep. That's not good with 6 turnovers. Then she had a great game against Colorado, except from deep. She was 27% from deep. So then you enter the NCAA tournament, and here comes LSU. Well, no. Here comes South Carolina, well, who did they play first? What am I looking at? Oh, wait a sec. This isn't the Big Ten tournament. This is just the tournament. I don't know what I was thinking about. That's not the Big Ten tournament. I wanted to go to the Big Ten tournament. Okay, here it is. See the Big Ten tournament? Because I told you it started in the Big Ten tournament. So it's these 3 games at the top. Okay, so you have to look at the 3 games at the top. Okay, right here. So do you see against Penn State 26%, 14% from deep? Do you see the 36% from Michigan and then the 29% against Nebraska? I told you, it started in the Big Ten tournament where she was terrible. Look, you're looking at 29%, 36% is a passing grade, but it's still trash to me. She missed 7 threes, y'all. When you see 4 of 11, she missed 7 threes. To me, 36 is trash, but whatever. So you're talking about 14, 36, and 29. I told you it started in the Big Ten tournament. Okay, that's where it started. It started in the Big Ten tournament. And then we get into the NCAA tournament. This was that game against Holy Cross where she touched the rim. 6 turnovers, 33%. Okay. And then you go West Virginia, 35% from deep, 36 from the field. Colorado was her best game at that point in terms of total field goal percentage, but look at the 3-point percentage, 27%. And then you look at LSU, and that's 45%. That was her best game against LSU, 45%. That chick put up 23s, y'all. That's crazy. And 29 total shots. But anyway, that was her best game against LSU. And then you go to Connecticut, and she's 27% and 38% from the field. And then you go to South Carolina, she was 35% from the field. 38% is a passable percentage, so I'll give her credit for that. But look at the field goal percentage. So I told you it all started in the Big Ten tournament, right? Now, I'm watching this in real time. I saw when it happened. And it never improved. It never got better. So that's what it is. And then you go to her rookie year. So we leave college. We go to game log. And let's go to 2024. No. I want to go to stats in 2024. You look at 2024, just 34%. Just 34%. That's a terrible field goal. That's a terrible 3-point percentage. 34% is trash. That's not good. What's respectable is like 38%, 37%. That's respectable, like 38%. 34% is trash. That's trash, y'all. That's trash. Okay? And then obviously in 2025, you're talking about 27%, 27, 28%, and then 36% from the field. And in this season, 33%. Listen, at one point this season, Caitlin was shooting 18%. At one point this season, she was literally shooting 18% from deep. She was like 29% from the field at one point this season. Okay? And so, like, this is what you're seeing, okay? What you're seeing is she's reverting back to her disgusting season last season and back to what happened in her rookie year. She's regressing, okay? She's absolutely regressing, and, like, that's what this is. So that's why I call it inflation. That's why I made that video calling her stats inflated stats. These are inflated numbers. Now, you can listen to these idiots on YouTube and in these Twitter spaces, and they're going to sell you her like she's amazing, and she isn't. Okay? You would say, well, why do you have Asia Wilson there? Okay. I'm going to highlight something to you about Asia Wilson. I'm going to say this. Asia Wilson is a plague, and no one likes to see her perform unless you're a South Carolina Gamecock fan or a diehard Aces fan. No one wants to watch this chick play basketball, right? She's evil. She just oozes evil. She's a terrible human being. Tried to bully Liz Cambage, tried to bully De'Arica Ham. She's a horrible effing person. If I use profanity, I would drop the F-bomb. She's a horrible person, y'all. She's disgusting in every way, A'ja Wilson. Just a terrible person, okay? And she oozes just evil. She's just bad energy. She's a terrible freaking person. And no one wants to watch her play. Unless you're a diehard Aces fan or a diehard A'ja fan, no one wants to see this chick play. That's why I put both of these women in the thumbnail. These are two toxic chicks right now. A'ja always been toxic. Always been toxic. He's a terrible person. Watching this Valkyries game, I turned it off with like 6 minutes left in the game. I don't want to watch that. Free throw line, free throw line, free throw line. It's not just, her team shot what? How many free throws they shot? They shot over 20 free throws. But what it was just a bunch of bogus fouls that weren't fouls on her, right? Where these women were not fouling her. And then when she wasn't getting called, she was yelling at the referees. And every time she went in for an inside shot, she kept screaming, foul, and one, foul, and one. Or she yelling at the referee to call a foul. No one wants to watch that. Then she's hooking the women. She's flailing. Like, no one wants to see that. Is this why she kept getting booed? No one wants to watch that. Right? Like, and so in every time they play, the game is just mired. It feels like it's mired in corruption. Like there's something seedy, dubious, unscrupulous, dodgy going on. It's just like, oh gosh, the Aces are playing. Get ready for some corruption. Get ready for the league or something going on. Get ready, something is going to happen in this game where they're going to favor the Las Vegas Aces and they're going to favor A'ja Wilson. And Becky Hammon got the audacity to talk about the Valkyries or whoever they were playing. I forget who that was. And she was like, oh, there's no way she should have shot more free throws. What? A lot of y'all don't remember because you people just started watching the WNBA in 2024. Against the Atlanta Dream, ladies and gentlemen, A'ja Wilson shot 23 free throws in one game because the league tried to force her to break Liz Cambage's record of 53 points because Liz Cambage was interviewed by Taylor Rooks on Bleacher Report and called out the WNBA for their corruption, their BS, and then bragged immediately after and say, but I still got the most points in WNBA history on that interview. So what happens that A'ja's next game after that, and she called out A'ja for bullying and said that there's a couple Aces players who are alcoholics and addicted to gambling and the league isn't doing anything about it. Like Liz Cambage called it all out. She called out the league. She called out the Aces. She called out A'ja and a couple other players. Dumping her mail on the floor, all of this stuff, she called them out, and had no one on the Aces would do anything about it in the front office. They were jealous of Liz Cambage. Liz called them out. So what happens the very next game the Aces play against Atlanta? Because she embarrassed the league like that and then bragged right after about having the most points in the W's history, 53 points. They tried to make A'ja break her record. A'ja only tied it. And it was unimpressive because she only got the 53 because she shot 23 free throws. You don't believe me? Watch this. Check this out. Check this out. Let's get out of that. A'ja Wilson's stats against Atlanta when she scored 53 points. This chick shot 23 free throws. And so Becky is saying, I forget who she said, there's no way such and such players should have shot more free throws than our entire team or something like that, she said. Oh, she shot 21 free throws. Y'all see this? This chick shot 21 free throws. This chick shot 21 free throws. 21 free throws, ladies and gentlemen. They literally tried to hurt Liz Cambage because Liz called the league out for their flaws. She called the league out. She called out certain teams. And then immediately after bragged that she got the most points in WNBA history, 53. Ladies and gentlemen, the next game, literally Asia's next game, the league tried to force her to break Liz Cambage's record. All of these fouls were, like 99% of these fouls were bogus fouls. They tried to force this chick to break Liz Cambage's 53 record, and all she did was tied it, and it wasn't impressive. Liz's 53 was impressive. Liz was hitting threes. Liz, she went to the free throw line, but I think she only attempted 13 free throws, if I'm not mistaken, just 13. Asia she attempted 21. So look, if you look at Liz's numbers, watch this. Look at Liz's 53. Liz 53, Liz got steals, she got assists. She hitting, I think Liz made 5 threes that game, if I'm not mistaken. And she went to the free throw line, I think 12 or 13 times. Look at Asia. For Asia to get that, 20 of that 53 came from the free throw line, y'all. So the league is corrupt. The league is dirty, y'all. The league is dirty. They literally tried to hurt Liz Cambage and forced Asia to break the record, and it didn't work. She just tied it, and it wasn't impressive. So watch this. Look at Liz. Let me show you what Liz did. Let me show you Liz's number. Asia it's going to be a beautiful day when Asia lead this league. And we don't have to watch this trash, garbage basketball from her anymore. And just her negative energy. Like, Asia is a devil, and not in a good way. Not putting a lit connotation on it. That's a devil, y'all. She's loaded with satanic spirits, right? And Caitlyn is possessed by Satan right now. That's why she's acting out. That chick is possessed. She needs an exorcism. But Asia is 1000% loaded with satanic spirits, y'all. Okay, so watch this. Let's go Liz Cambage. Come on, baby, damn. Watch this. Look who had the most impressive 53. This league literally told the officials to get his game to Asia, to make her get 53. I swear to God. This happened right after Liz embarrassed the WNBA in an interview with Taylor Rooks. And literally the next game, they tried to force her to break Liz's. Look at Liz, y'all. You see her 53? 77%. She shot 5 threes. I told y'all she made 4. Okay, so she shot 16 free throws. She made 15. Asia was 21. She got 2 assists, 1 steal, 5 blocks, no turnovers, and 1 foul. Look at Asia, y'all. Asia got 3 fouls. Liz only had 1 foul. Asia got 2 turnovers. Liz had no turnovers. Asia got 4 blocks. Liz had 5 blocks. Asia with no steals and no assists. Liz had 2 assists, 1 steal. All Asia's rebounds. Asia only has 7 rebounds, y'all. And they were all defensive, none on the offensive end. Liz Cambage had 10 rebounds. At least she got an offense, but she got a double-double. So her 53 points came with a double-double, y'all. Asia shot 21 free throws. Liz shot 16. Okay. Asia made 1 3-pointer. Liz made 4. Asia shot 23 times and made 16. Liz shot 22 times and made 17. I told y'all, and even Liz was clowning it. Once Liz saw what the league did, Liz was laughing at them. Liz clowned the league after she saw what they tried to do. She clowned the league again. And it wasn't better. And Asia was getting clowned on social media. Everybody was like, it's still not better than Liz. Liz got a double-double. She got a 53 and a double-double. And she filled out the stat sheet without any turnovers. She filled out the stat sheet except for turnovers. Liz destroyed Asia Wilson's 53. So you tried to force this. Listen, so don't listen to Becky. Becky is a snake. Becky helped circumvent the salary cap with Nikki Fargas. Becky almost made Dearica Hamby have a freaking miscarriage and lied on Dearica Hamby. Becky is a dirty snake, y'all. She can't be trusted. That chick possessed by demons, devils. And same with Asia Wilson. Asia is just loaded with satanic spirits. Loaded, y'all. She's a terrible person. I've been saying that for years about this chick. That chick is a horrible human being, a snake. And you all know this. All of you know this because you hate watching her. It's something about her energy that just irks you. It's aggy. It pisses you off. You hate watching her. You don't like looking at her. Black and white, Latino, Asian, indigenous, I don't care. South Asian, East Asian, Middle Eastern, I don't care. No one likes looking at this chick. No one, unless you are a Asia Wilson fan, a Gamecock fan, you're the only people who like looking at her. When it's like that, that lets you know that's a toxic, horrible human being. When everyone is on the same page with this chick, the majority of everyone in the world who's ever seen this woman, they have this irky feeling where it's like, damn, this chick there's something about this chick that just turned me off. It's something about her energy. This chick, ugh. And then you don't like watching her play because it's cheating after cheating after cheating after cheating. No one wants to see that trash. That's a devil. And then I've been calling her a devil before Liz Cambage came out. And then Liz Cambage did the interview. It was like this chick was throwing her mail on the floor. They were trying to fight her, bully her. They got jealous because the team was Liz's team. Liz decided to not play in the bubble, and that's when Asia was able to get that MVP. She couldn't win that championship, but she was able to get that MVP. So Liz comes back in 2021, and they wanted to make that team Asia team. And so Asia and them started to push Liz Cambage out by bullying Liz Cambage. All of this other stuff, man. So, and Liz says she went to the front office. They never did anything about it. All of this stuff like that, man, Liz called them all out. Liz called them all out. That's a terrible person, y'all. Did y'all see what they did to Maya Hollingshed? Becky Hammond's first year, drafted Maya Hollingshed, moved up in the draft to select Maya Hollingshed from Colorado with the 8th pick. Becky Hammond, her first year ever. Video come out of Maya Hollingshed chopping Asia to pieces in training camp. They're both 6'4", but Maya Hollingshed is a 6'4" guard. She's like a Leonie Febish. And she cooking, chopping Asia to pieces. Dog, a couple days later, Maya Hollingshed waved, cut. Wait a second. You just traded up in the draft and drafted this chick with the 8th pick in the first round. You traded up. You traded to move up in the top 10 and drafted Maya Hollingshed. Video come out of training camp of this chick chopping Asia to pieces, and a couple days later you wave her? They didn't want any threats to Asia, dog. No threats to her. Get them, any threat, get them off of the team. That's why they're throwing this leash on Kennedy, because Kennedy was outshining Asia, and it was starting to look like Kennedy's team. And now she's starting to dock Kennedy's minutes. This is what they do. If there's any threat to Asia on the Aces, they'll dock your minutes or they'll cut you. It's a terrible person, y'all. It's a terrible person. Listen, you got to get these diseases, these devils, these satanic people out of this league. It's going to be a beautiful day when this chick go. This chick broke Alana Smith's nose on purpose this year and then started laughing when the referee was getting on her about it. She started laughing. Didn't even apologize to Alana Smith. Didn't even check on her. That's a terrible person, y'all. Terrible person. This is the same chick that allows Sabrina Ionescu to be bullied, to be smeared and slandered, okay, for years. And she already, I'm the first one. As a matter of fact, that tweet went viral. My tweet went viral because I brought it up. I brought it. Asia had a signature shoe deal 3 years, for 3 years before she ever announced it. They were just working on different designs. So I start showing you some of their designs. One of the prototypes was it was going to look like some sort of some sneaker high heel kind of shoe. It was a weird design. I broke all of this before anyone ever broke it. Man, this chick allowed all of these people to bully Sabrina Ionescu on social media. And this chick already had her shoe deal for 3 years. They were just running through different designs, right? And they got to do the rollout. They got to fix this and that. And then boom, it was going to be official. And she allowed Sabrina to get thrown under the bus. And she could have stopped it. She could have said, hey, you guys, I have a signature shoe. I can't tell you anything else about it, but let's not do this to Sabrina. She allowed that to happen. She's a horrible person. Then she got jealous that Sabrina got the 2K cover. She got the NBA. She got jealous Sabrina Ionescu got the NBA 2K cover. Her, Alicia Clark, and other ones start hating on Sabrina Ionescu and then want to jump up in Sabrina Ionescu's face in the All-Star game when she did that 3-point shootout, when she won when she made like damn near every single three she put up. And then they want to run up in her face and like, oh, Sabrina, chick, you were just hating on her that she got the 2K cover. What are you talking about? You, Alicia Clark, all y'all was hating on Sabrina Ionescu because she got the 2K cover. And now she lava all litty all over the place at the All-Star game. And you trying to run up in her face like you weren't just trying to tear her down because you mad she got the 2K cover? Man, Asia a snake, y'all. She's a horrible person, man. That's a devil in the worst way. When I say devil or demon, don't put a lit connotation on it. No, like a horrible, wicked, evil, corrupt, abominable, disgusting, abhorrent, loathsome, repulsive person. She sucks. And she's overrated. The hell out of here. This chick overrated as hell. She been coddled her whole life. And she's fake as hell. Be trying to act like she from the hood. Chick, you grew up with a golden spoon in your mouth. That chick went to what, Heath Academy? The most prestigious private school in the state of South Carolina? She attended that school from kindergarten all the way up until she went to college. That chick grew up with a golden spoon in her mouth and she be trying to act like she from the hood. What are you talking about? The hell up out of here. She was always coddled. She was always given the best coaches and surrounded around top talent. She never had to earn it. Asia has no callus, y'all. Asia has no callus. Look, check this out. Okay. She went to the most prestigious private school in the state of South Carolina up until she went to college. She goes to college. She's surrounded by all of this talent, and her head coach is Don Staley. She comes to the WNBA, and her head coach is Bill Laimbeer, a 2-time WNBA championship head coach, on top of being a great NBA player and won 2 championships with the Pistons. That's who her head coach is, right? Then her next head coach is Becky Hammon, coming from Greg Popovich, a Hall of Famer, surrounded with Chelsea Gray and all of this talent. Asia has never had to prove anything, right? Outside of her rookie year, but still, her head coach was still Bill Laimbeer. She never had to prove, and she still had Kayla McBride and these other people on. Asia never had to prove anything, y'all. She was always coddled. She was always insulated with the very best coaches and some of the best teammates. So it's easy for you to get numbers when your point guard is Chelsea Gray, because if we double Asia, Chelsea's open. If we double Asia, Jackie is open. Kelsey Plum is open. Joel Lloyd is open. Nalissa Smith is open, right? Freaking Kennedy Carter, and you name it. Like, these were all of her teammates. So it was a pick your poison. So only thing you can do, you can try to do some help defense on Asia. You can risk it and double her, and then she passes it, and then there's Chelsea Gray or Jill Lord or Jackie Young or Kelsey Plum or Kennedy Carter, or when Alicia Clark was making her shots, Alicia Clark and Candace Parker and all of these players. So she was always insulated. Always insulated. Hell, even when they had Kayla McBride, this chick was always insulated, y'all. Watch this, right? Because that's a snake. That's a devil in a worse way. Watch this. Asia Wilson attended, I think it's called Heath Academy, right? Private school in the state of South Carolina, right? I know it's true. I'm just showing this to you guys. Like, she's fake. No. Well, he said not quite right. Yeah, it's Heathwood. I thought it was Heath. Heathwood Hall Episcopal School, a private K through 12 school in South Carolina. But it is generally ranked as one of the top private schools in the state, not the single most prestigious, right? Well, listen, when I Googled it, Google said it's the most prestigious. Grok is saying not quite, but tomato, semantics, okay? So quick facts on her schooling. She attended Heathwood Hall from grade school through high school. She was a standout basketball player and volleyball player there, leading the team to a state champ, blah, 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 blah. The school is known for strong academics and athletics, and she was one of the few black students there during her time. So then I got to bring you back to how fake she is. So Asia Wilson speaks proper English almost like a white chick. If you didn't know any better, you would think Asia Wilson was a white chick who grew up in the valley somewhere. Okay? So she got exposed. So earlier in her career in the WNBA, her first couple years, she did a podcast with Nafisa Collier called Tea with A and Fee. So she was literally doing that podcast, and if you didn't know Asia Wilson, you would have thought she was a white woman, right? That she's speaking proper, fluent English, extremely articulate. You would have thought Asia, I swear to God, if you didn't know who Asia Wilson was, if you listened to Tea with A and Fee, you would have sworn on a stack of Bibles that you were listening to a white woman. So Asia is faking all of this hood girl stuff. Asia is faking, y'all. She was one of the only few black women at Heathwood. All of this is fake. Everything you seeing is a facade. It's not real. None of this is real, y'all. This chick is fake. She's been coddled her whole life. Grok is saying not quite. Google said the most prestigious. What are you talking about? And then you go to South Carolina and you got Don Staley and a loaded roster. And then you come to the W, you got the legendary WNBA head coach, Bill Laimbeer. Loaded rosters. Then here comes Becky Hammond, loaded rosters. So put Asia Wilson in a situation where she doesn't have loaded rosters and some Hall of Fame coach. And see the real Asia when you get to double team her all of the time because no one else is really a threat. And then see what she does and don't give her a favorable whistle. And then that's when you'll see the real Asia. You'll start seeing the real numbers she'll put up and they won't be impressive. Her numbers are inflated. She's been coddled and doted on her entire life. And what you're seeing from her is a facade. It's a persona. She's not a city girl. She's not from the hood. She was born with a golden spoon in her mouth. And I'm telling you right now, like that's how she's fake and she's a devil. And she's a snake. And I never liked this chick outside of her freshman year. I stopped liking her really after her freshman year. I stopped liking that chick. I just noticed bad things. I start calling Asia out her sophomore year. There's bad stuff I noticed from her. And then horrible things I noticed from Dawn Staley. I would start calling Dawn and Asia devils a long time ago. In college, I was calling them devils. Right? I lost a bunch of Gamecock subs. Not on this channel. I had several YouTube channels, but I lost a lot of Gamecock subs because they used to say, man, he used to love Dawn Staley. He changed. It's like the Caitlin Clark fans. He changed. He used to love Caitlin. Once I notice bad things about you, I got to call it out. Man, I say, man, Dawn a devil, dog. And then I start pointing all these things out and about her in Asia, and then all these Gamecock fans unsubscribed and all. Like, that's what it was, man. Like, I'm calling you out. I've been calling Gino out for a while. Right? I respect what he did, how he built UConn up. He took UConn from nothing to the greatest thing in women's college basketball, right? But I don't like how he talked his players. That's my issue with Gino. And then I don't like the fact that his record is inflated based off of the weak conference he's been playing in, the weak conferences. Now, he's dominating at non-conference schedules. Okay, the non-conference schedule, he dominates it. Why? Because he's getting 5 stars. I'm not mad at him for that because he earned it. UConn was trash before Gino got there. So he earned that right to get these 5 stars. He built it from nothing to something. What I don't like is the freaking conferences, trash conferences. And so his record is inflated, and you're moving past Pat Summitt and all of these coaches. You're the number one, the all-time winningest coach because of your trash conferences. And that's what I don't like about it. So to me, his winning percentage is inflated. I don't respect it. I respect the 5 stars because that's all on him. He took that program from nothing to something. I respect it. What I don't like is his competition, his conference competition. It's always really been trash, really, for the most part. And then I don't like how he talk about his players. I don't like that, right? I called him out when we called Kristen Williams dumb in like a tacit way, an indirect way, called her dumb. When you talk like, man, I called Gino out too, man. But anyway, y'all, like, that's what this is. So now you know, right? Recent rankings place Christ Church Episcopal School as number 1 among private schools in South Carolina, with Heathwood Hall at number 2. Other strong contenders include schools like Porter-Gaud or Ashley Hall in the Charleston area. Heathwood Hall is elite and well regarded, especially in the Midland, Columbia region, but it's not universally considered the absolute top in the state. Well, okay, in 2026, it's 2. When I Googled this was Asia's, 5th year in the league or 4th year when I Googled that. And at that time, Heathwood was number 1. So the fact that it's ranked number 2 now, right, that still says a lot. So yeah, this chick is fake, man. This chick is so fake, y'all. Every time I look at her, when I see Asia, like I see her, I look at her differently. I see a chick that was born with a golden spoon in her mouth who's out here capping. She's faking like she's a city girl. I know the woman who did her first podcast. And because I know Asia, right, I was able to know that was Asia talking. If you didn't know Asia, you would have thought you were listening to a white woman from freaking the Hamptons. You would have thought you were listening to a white chick from the Hamptons. So, I know this chick is faking, y'all. All of that is fake. It's not real. It's fake. All of it. Oh, God, man. Let me get up out of here, man. Let me get up out of here, dog. I said what needed to be said. I cleared all of this up. Caitlin, change your ways. And I'm just ready for Asia to leave. I don't like this chick. I don't like that chick. Caitlin, change your ways. Become a better person. Be more respectful, more coachable, pliable. And add some more packs to your game. Play some off-season basketball overseas to work on some things. And don't be a coach killer. If Stephanie gets fired, that's 3 coaches in 3 years, because the interim coach will be Austin Kelly. So that would be 3 coaches in 3 years. If they don't keep Austin next season, then that means you'll have 4 coaches in 4 years. You'll have 4 coaches in 4 years, Caitlin. That doesn't look good for you. And it just gives validation, credence to the belief that you're a cancer or you're just like a terrible person. Do you really want that? Do you really want to be known as a coach killer, a black widow? Seriously? Seriously, Caitlin? 4 coaches in 4 years? Like, your fans don't even realize what that says and how bad that makes you look. If Stephanie gets fired, Austin Kelly is promoted interim head coach, or maybe they'll go past him and promote Breon January. That means 3 coaches in 3 years. Okay? If they don't keep Austin or Breon January next season and hire a new coach, Caitlin, that's 4 coaches in 4 years. That looks bad, Caitlin. That looks bad. And your fans, they don't see this. Your fans didn't realize that by them being so toxic, that they would turn off other fan bases not wanting you on their team. They didn't see that. They didn't see that, Caitlin. They also didn't see, by them being so toxic, that it would create a face of the W vacuum. I don't say faves, I say loves. And how everyone, they're finding new loves from Kiki Rice, from Gabriela Jaquez, okay? You name it. Everyone is finding new loves, their new loves around this league. And now it's created a face of the W vacuum. Your stats aren't impressive anymore. You're getting injured all of the time, it seems. You have an attitude problem with your coaches and obviously the referees. You're getting chopped up on defense. Your fans are even more toxic. They get more toxic every year. And it turns everyone off. And now everyone is finding new faves, new loves. They're all finding, I don't say faves. They're all finding new loves. I love Kiki Rice. I love Carla Late. I love Sarah Ashley Barker. Right? Like, everyone I love Gabriela Jaquez. Everyone is finding new loves. You go to every team. Go to Atlanta, it's Angel Reese, or it's Ryan Howard, or it's Tahina. And you go to Chicago, and it's Rakia or Gabriela Jaquez. And you go to Connecticut, and it's Charlize, or it's Layla Lacan, or it's Sanaya, or Anissa Morrow. And you go to Dallas, it's AZ and Paige. And you go to Golden State, and it's Veronica, or is Gabby, or is someone, okay? Caitlyn Chen, like, they're finding new loves. They're finding new loves. You go to Los Angeles, and it's Cameron Brink, or it's Sanaya. They're finding new loves. You go to the Aces, people are falling in love with Kennedy Carter again for the first time. Minnesota, Olivia Miles, and New York, everyone is falling in love with Maureen Johannes or Astier, Pauline Astier, like, new loves. You go to Phoenix, they're falling in love with Nogic, okay? And, like, that's what that is. And And you go to Portland, like I said, Carla Lade, and people are falling in love with Megan again, and Sarah Ashley Barker, and you go to Seattle and Flau'jae or Our Fam, and hell, even some people are starting to fall in love with Mackenzie Holmes, finding new loves, and Toronto, Kiki, and Washington, and you're talking about several players from Kiki Area Fan to Shakira Austin to Lauren Betts and Lucy Olsen. They got several women. People are finding new loves, Caitlin. It has created a face of the W vacuum. And your fans, they don't have foresight. They didn't see this coming. They didn't see it, right? They thought that they had power and influence and that they could throw their weight around and punish this league, punish the Fever and punish this league and not buy tickets. And it hasn't worked. And all they did was make you a pariah. That's all they managed to do, was turn you into a pariah. And no one really wants to be around you because of your fans. And then you hurt yourself by not at least going on Twitter telling your fans to cut it out. And then with your terrible conduct towards your coaches and towards referees. Okay? Right? Behavioral inference. Idiosyncrasies, a pattern of conduct. This is data. This is what we're learning in real time. Every game, there's something up with this girl, with this woman. Every game. Every game, there's something up with this woman. There's something off. Referees, coaches, getting into it with players, her energy, her body language, and then her fans they're finding low-hanging fruit or scapegoats, and they're blaming anyone but Caitlin. And then they go on social media and there's racism and there's all sorts of things and mean-spirited and cruel and rude and all of these horrible things and spreading narratives and agendas and conspiracy theories and flat out lies, fallacies, falsehoods. Like, this is what's going on. She sits back and blows her dog whistle. Like, this is what it is. This is what you're witnessing. It's a terrible person, y'all. And she's got to make some changes. She's got to make some changes in every way, right? Because no one wants her on their team. They don't want her. You see that tweet? That's a real tweet. And that's just one of many tweets of fans of every WNBA team, not the Fever, saying, we don't want her, keep her. Portland doesn't want her. Toronto doesn't want her. New York, they don't want her. All of the fans on Twitter, and I'm seeing some people on TikTok as well. You start seeing this stuff on Twitter. People on TikTok saying the same thing. We don't want her. That was inconceivable. No one would have thought that in 2024, that it would turn out this way, except for me, because I called it out in 2024. And now it's happening before your very eyes. She is now unlikable. Her fans turned her into a pariah. And they didn't even realize this because they were it's ridiculous. It's disgusting. You have no power. And so you got to understand, this is the age of trolling. We're in the age of trolls, y'all. Your president is a troll. Your president is a troll. The devil is trolling. This is literally the age of trolls, spiritually, in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. This is literally the age of trolls. So these fans are saying, oh yeah, you think you have power? Let me get this straight. So you're saying that if they don't do this, this, and this for Caitlyn, that you won't show up to a game and the ratings will suffer and the attendance will suffer? Prove it. Guess what? We're going to show up to games any damn way and watch these games. That's literally what's happening. They're trolling the trolls. And now these trolls, the trolls of Caitlyn, they look stupid right now. Caitlyn's trolls, right? That she hired, her minions, her STD fans, they're all looking stupid right now because these other teams are selling out their arenas or they're packing them a nice number. And the ratings are pretty good ratings. Some of them are great ratings. Portland has 3 games with over 19,000 people. 3. 2 of them were without Caitlyn. The Valkyries are packing at 18K every game. Toronto, I think all of their games have been sold out. That's the way it is with every team except for Chicago, Connecticut, and I think like Dallas. But like damn near every single team, they're either selling out or they're bringing in a nice sizable crowd. So it's like, we don't need her. And you could say, well, none of that would have happened if it were not for Caitlyn Clark jumping in this league. Well, I can counter that and say, well, that doesn't happen if Angel Reese doesn't chase her around the arena, point to her ring finger. She got lit off of a black woman. Listen, y'all, I swear to God, if the Iowa Hawkeyes never played LSU in a national championship game, Caitlyn doesn't have 1 million IG followers. She doesn't have a big social media following. She's not as popular as she is today. She gained over 900,000 IG followers in 24 hours after that happened. Watch this. You don't believe me? Check this out. Let's go. Is it true? I know the answer to this, but is it true that Caitlyn Clark gained around 900,000 followers on IG in 24 hours after the incident happened with Angel Reese, after the national championship game? Wait a second. Let's go. Oh, okay. So they're saying she gained 66,000. I thought it was 900,000. Okay, broader 2024 growth for Clark was reported around 900K total across platforms the year, but not tied to a single 24-hour spike. So in 24 hours, No. This isn't true, Grok. Okay. So, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Let's go to Gemini. Let me copy this. I know what I'm talking about. I thought it was 900,000. I could be wrong. But we're not doing this, Grok. No. I know what I know. Okay. I know what I know. So let's go to Gemini so we can get the truth. 24 hours, that chick got what, 900K or close to it? No, dog. So all this, they're mixing all of this up. Let me see. So exactly how many? Over the duration of the Final Four, Clark's following increased from 230,000 to 539,000, a total gain of 309 followers over several days. 900,000 is a figure conflation of various viral statistics from that period. For instance, Angel Reese gained roughly 650,000 followers over the entire 2023 tournament. Oh, man. I don't know. If I'm wrong, but I know what I saw. I know what I freaking saw. Let me see. What are we doing? Come on, baby. Yeah, let's go. All right, let's go. Okay, all right, so it's true then. She didn't do that. No, that claim is a mix-up. It was actually Angel Reese who experienced that historic social media surge. Following the 2023 National Championship game between LSU and Iowa, Reese gained over 600 to 650,000 IG followers almost immediately, eclipsing the 1 million mark in just a matter of hours. And so this happened immediately after that happened. Why? Because Dave Portnoy went to Twitter and called Angel Reese a black bitch, because ESPN edited Angel Reese's words and when they went to commercial break, it made it look like Angel Reese called her a hoe. When Angel Reese said, "This ain't no one-woman show." ESPN edited all of that out and just left the O in and slowed it down. This is when they went to commercial break, and it made it look like Angel called her a hoe. So Dave Portnoy immediately goes to Twitter and called Angel Reese a black bitch. So then white fans who just started watching Caitlin Clark that tournament went to Twitter under Dave Portnoy's tweet and start calling her a monkey, the N-word, all of this stuff. So then black people, first time ever watching Angel Reese, okay, if they weren't following Angel from Maryland or when she first got there, obviously LSU at that time, if they weren't watching Angel Reese at that time, they just start watching her during the tournament as well, a lot of them, where they became tribal. White people became tribal, black people became tribal. And they started to support Angel and followed Angel Reese. And the same thing happened with Caitlin. So Caitlin goes from 230,000 to how many they said? 500, 600,000, right? And so that's what that happened. That's what happened. That's why that happened. While Caitlin Clark's following absolutely exploded as well, her numbers are a bit more gradual. During the entire month of March Madness in 2023, Clark more than doubled her following to around 539,000. And during her 2024 Final Four run, she gained about 294,000 followers in the 3 days surrounding and following the championship. Right. Now you can see March Madness, April 10th, 2024. Let me see this. Caitlin Clark followers skyrocket to make her second most followed women's basketball college player. Let's get to the numbers. Yeah, I got it. Clark now has 1.8 million followers on Instagram, gaining over 663,000 during March Madness. Yeah. Almost half of those hit the follow button during the 3 days on and immediately after the championship game. I told you. that is nearly triple the 105,000 followers South Carolina standout Camila Cardoso had, who was the tournament's most outstanding player. So before the incident with Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark had 200. How many she had? 230,000. And then after that, she gets 530. She ends up having 539,000. Okay. And all of that is because of what happened with Angel Reese. This doesn't happen. And then it's always like, what are we talking about here? So like, I'm just so happy I brought this up. Numbers were off. I saw something completely different, but numbers were off, but still, right? But this all happened because of race. A black woman pointed to her ring finger and told this white woman this isn't a one-woman show. ESPN fixed it where it made it look like she called her a hoe. There was a race war on social media. And in 24 hours, Angel Reese hits 1 million and Caitlin Clark jumps from 230,000 to almost 600,000. That's what happened. So if Angel Reese never pointed to her ring finger, and if Angel Reese never told Caitlin Clark this isn't a one-woman show, if Caitlin Clark doesn't play LSU in the finals, Caitlin Clark doesn't have 1 million a million IG followers. Maybe now she would have 1 million, but it would have taken her at least 2 years to get 1 million. Because before that happened, she only had 230,000. So let me get this straight. You're trying to credit all of this growth to one player when the only reason why this player was able to have that type of impact is because a black woman pointed to her ring finger and everyone became racist and tribal. We're going to ride for the white woman. And the black people say, we're going to ride for the black woman. And that's what happened. Because before that ever happened, not one of you knew who Caitlin Clark was, except for me and the true women's basketball fans. What are you talking about? So, like, I'm just happy that I was able to highlight that. I want to do this real quick before I leave. You are correct that the massive viewership records often associated with Caitlin Clark, such as the games drawing millions of viewers, largely occurred during her final 2 seasons. I told you. So let me tell you about the Caitlin Clark I know. The Caitlin Clark who only has 6,000 Twitter followers. Okay. The Caitlin Clark that only used to get 3 likes and like a few comments. That's the Caitlin Clark I know. Right. So I told you. The only people who knew about Caitlin were the true women's basketball fans. So all of you people who are out here trying to get Stephanie White fired, acting like you're a Caitlin Clark fan, where were you her first 2 years in the league? Oh, you were hating on women hoopers. That's what you were doing. These are fake people, y'all. Okay? These are fake people. So, you are correct that the massive viewership records often associated with Caitlin Clark, such as the games drawing millions of viewers, largely occurred during her final 2 seasons. During her first 2 seasons at Iowa, women's basketball women's college basketball viewership numbers were generally much lower across the board. While Clark was already an exceptional player, the phenomenon now known as the Clark effect, which saw her games consistently drawing over 1 million viewers and setting all-time records, did not reach that scale until her junior and senior years, particularly during the 2023 NCAA tournament run when she was facing these black teams. And it was a black versus white crap going on in a tournament. And they wanted to see this predominantly white team beat these predominantly African-American teams. And that's what it was. And this was, white people saw her for the first time. Because all of these white people and black people and Asians and Hispanics, everyone rejected her first 2 years. They never heard of her. And they were only interested because they've never in their lives, unless they watched some black and white film on YouTube somewhere, they just never saw an all-white team play like an all-black team, even though she had a few black players on Iowa's team. But I'm just saying, it was like, whoa, it's like going back to the 30s and 40s or 50s. Like, what is this? And they really wanted to see it. Well, you could have been watching that the first 2 years, but you were busy hating on women hoopers. Like, that's what that was. In those earlier seasons, it was rare for individual regular season women's basketball games to reach the 1 million viewer mark. And so I'm highlighting this to show you she wasn't always lit. So watch this. Watch this. Let's go. I told you. I know this because I've been watching this chick since I saw her videos when she was in high school, but just watching her every year, I saw this. The first year, that was the bubble season, okay, COVID. But her sophomore year, I saw empty seats all over the place. I'm just saying, she was not packing them on the road. And even in her junior year, you go to these road games, it was empty seats her junior year. It took off in a tournament, in the Big Ten tournament, but you'll see a lot of empty seats on the road her junior year. Like, people, y'all don't know this. Y'all think Caitlin was always lit. She wasn't lit. During Caitlin Clark's sophomore season at the University of Iowa, there were no regular season games where Carver Hawkeye Arena was completely sold out due to her presence. While she was already a standout player, the Caitlin Clark effect, which saw her consistently selling out home and away games, did not take full hold until her junior and senior seasons. I told y'all. Key context regarding that period, Iowa averaged 8,222 fans per game. That's what the Indiana Fever were averaging back in 2012, 2013. So I'm exposing these people on YouTube and Twitter and TikTok trying to pretend that they were always there for Caitlin. Man, y'all just start watching her in 2024. Shut up. Average attendance. During the 2021-22 season, Iowa averaged 8,222 fans per game. While this was a very strong showing, ranking them fifth in the nation, it was well below the capacity of Carver Hawkeye Arena. Okay? Historical context. All right, boom, 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 boom. The massive surge in demand that led to consistent sellouts, both at home and on the road, began in the 2022-23 season and exploded during her senior year. By that later point, the university had to stop accepting season ticket deposits because demand was so high, right? So this all happened after the Angel Reese moment, okay? Because I'm telling you right now, If you look at the games before the Big Ten tournament, her junior year, on the road, you would see empty seats. All right. At home, she wasn't packing them all the time at home. It all happened during the tournament, right? So you got to get to the tournament when Angel Reese flipped everything. Yeah, the Big Ten tournament was good. And then you get to the NCAA tournament. That's when things shifted. And then everyone came back for more her senior year. And that's it all. Angel Reese is why that woman is lit. And what are you talking about? And race is the reason why they're both lit. Angel didn't have 1 million. She gained over 600,000 in 24 hours that got her to 1 million. They both benefited off of race, a race war. White people became tribal because Dave Portnoy called her a black bitch. ESPN is culpable because what they did was edit Angel's words and made it look like she called her a hoe going to commercial break, which made Dave Portnoy call her a black bitch. Black people jumped to Angel's side and white people supported Caitlyn. And they both got hundreds of thousands of followers in 24 hours. And after that happened, they both became superstars. They were not that before the ring finger. Never happened. And I'm proving this to you, right? So every YouTuber, fire Stephanie White, Caitlyn is the GOAT. Where were you her freshman and sophomore year? Where were you before the NCAA tournament her junior year? Because you were not watching her. You were not watching her. Didn't happen. This is fake love. This is what Drake said, fake love. Caitlyn, it's not real. That love, that's fake love. These are fake fans. All of it is fake. So let's see. Look at that. I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all. Listen, y'all, I swear to God, dog, I've been watching Caitlin Clark really since high school, but I'm the first one to ever make a Caitlin Clark video. Y'all, Caitlin used to only get you 400 views. Sometimes she'd get you 300. It was Paige Beckers that would get you 1 million or 200,000, 100,000, 50,000. Because Paige Beckers came into college with 1 million IG followers and like 1 million TikTok followers. Paige was the ones that would get you views. No one knew of Caitlin except for me or people from Iowa. I was the only one making Caitlin Clark content. The only one. Didn't I just tell y'all this chick didn't sell out that arena until the tournament? I told you, look. During Caitlin Clark's junior season, the atmosphere at Carver Hawkeye Arena underwent a major shift. But the first official sellout of the arena for the women's basketball program during her tenure occurred during the NCAA tournament. Listen, y'all, you can go back and watch games. You can't count her freshman year because that was a COVID year. No one was in attendance, right? So you got to go from her sophomore and junior year. Ladies and gentlemen, you got empty seats all over the place, at home and on the road, especially on the road. She didn't have this road show until the finger game. What are you talking about? While the popularity of the team soared throughout her junior season, the specific milestone of a full capacity sellout for the NCAA tournament first and second rounds in March 2023 was the catalyst that made national headlines. It was reported at the time that the tickets for these tournament games at Carver Hawkeye Arena sold out in roughly 1 hour, making a historic moment for the program. And so like, that's what this is, right? This was the second season where the phenomenon reached its absolute peak and the entire home schedule. So this is you going into a senior year. That's when every game started to sell out and she started to pack them on the road, not her junior year, right? And so like these people, they in their minds, these people think Caitlyn was always like that. She wasn't. Y'all listen to me. I swear to God, I tell you what, I'll make a video later on today. I'm going to show you. I got to go deep in my archives, okay? I got to go to one of my other channels, and I'm not going to tell you the name of that channel. I got to go on this one of my old channels, y'all. I'm going to go to that channel. I'm going to go deep into the archives. I'm going to show you a video where Caitlin Clark had like a little over 6,000 Twitter followers. Because I'm talking about something good she did in that video, right? Something real good she did in that video. So I'm going to highlight that. This chick had what, a little over 6,000 Twitter followers. That's the Caitlyn I know. I know the Caitlyn that only got me 600 views. And this was at a time when I was getting a lot of views from my Paige Becker's videos. I make a Paige Becker's video, I'm getting a lot of views. I put out a Caitlyn video, I get 600, 400, 800. That's because no one heard of her. That was me pumping her up. I'm making cinematic videos of this chick. No one was pumping her up except me and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Like, that's what it was. So I know the real Caitlyn, y'all. You talking about day ones. Like, I'm the only one that was with her. That's why her cousin was like, she's disappointed. She watches your channel. She's disappointed. Like, you changed. This chick know me. I was the only one making videos about her. The only one, y'all. The only one. I know the real Caitlyn. That's why it's hard. It's an oxymoron. It's bittersweet. You know, seeing what's going on with her now, because I was with her, the little puppy face Caitlyn, 18 years old. I was with her on day one. Day one. Day one, little puppy face 18-year-old Caitlin Clark. Day one. So like, I'm just like, all these YouTubers are fake. Rosalina Lee, you're fake. Rachel Demeter, you're fake. All of these people are fake. Correlation, you're fake. Crash Out, you're fake. They're all fake. They're all fake. So anyway, I just wanted to clear that up. So we saw she didn't get 1 million views until, her junior year. And that happened like in a tournament. And then she didn't get her first sold out game until her junior season in the tournament. She gained hundreds of thousands of IG followers overnight after the ring incident. She's lit because of a race war. Why? Because America loves a good race war. America loves a good old race war, y'all. They just love it. And they saw a predominantly white team from Iowa facing a predominantly black team from South Carolina and a predominantly black team from LSU. And ESPN stirred the waters with that nasty clip going into commercial, and they knew what they were doing. ESPN is some dirty snakes. And Dave Portnoy couldn't help himself. And he ran to Twitter and he called Angel Reese a black bitch. Went viral immediately. In the comments, white people are calling her a monkey, a N-word. Black people jump in the comments, going to war with white people, calling white people the C-word that rhyme with Packer, and all of this other stuff. And it was a full-on race war on Twitter under Dave Portnoy's tweet calling her a black bitch. So black people just found out about Angel and ran to IG and followed her. And then a bunch of white people ran to IG and followed Caitlin Clark. And then that's when they both took off of that one game. So when Angel Reese says, no, it's because of me too, she's telling the truth. Because Caitlin didn't sell it out until the NCAA tournament. She didn't get her first 1 million views until her junior season in a tournament. That's a true story. So I just wanted to clear that up, right? And that's called being thorough. All praises be to my Creator. All praises be to him. All acceptable praise be unto him. And bless this earth universe and its elements. And if there's anyone who's homeless, who shouldn't be arrested, who needs food to eat and water to drink and something to clean themselves, I pray that my Creator will provide it. I pray that my Creator will make this earth more powerful, more strong, and more respected. I pray that more people will come to learn about the Creator and to honor him and to serve him in the right way, to be of great assistance to him. And I pray that there's anyone who should not be in jail or prison, that the Creator will free them. If there's anyone who ran away from home, that the Creator will bring them to safety. If there's anyone who's been kidnapped, forced into slavery of any kind, if there's anyone under the threat of molestation and rape and wrongful killing, that the Creator will save them and protect them and bring them to safety. And if there's any non-human that is in fear of its life and it needs water and food, I pray that my Creator would provide that for anyone that's not a human being. And to all of you who help to protect my Creator in the spiritual realm and those of you on this planet, I pray that my Creator will bless you with more support from him, more support and more love. And I want to say I thank you. And I want to thank this earth, universe, and elements for everything it's done. To you, my creator that's outside I see you today, please forgive me for my sins and my wrongdoings and my offenses, and help me to never be a disappointment to you ever again. I want to say I love you and I thank you, and you above all